What's going on, everybody? This is Bitcoin Ben here for the morning. What in the heck is going on with cryptocurrencies? And in order to answer that question, I brought on a great friend of mine. Everybody, you know him, you love him. It's Polny. How you doing, brother?
Great. Pleasure to speak with you, Ben. It's always a pleasure. It's been a while, and so I'm sure we have a lot to chat about. A lot has been going on in the world since we've spoken. So yes.
Oh, absolutely. The world has lost its mind, and luckily for us, we have very responsible people like you. And well, I was going to say me, but my show's not quite as not as politically correct as maybe it should be.
Well, but, I've listened to a lot of what you talk about on occasion, and you're on point. So you have a lot of fascinating things that you talk about, Ben. So I got to compliment you. So well done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I recently found out that you're a member of my Patreon channel. I didn't realize. I thought, holy cow, I got a celebrity.
Well, no, I gotta support you, man. Come on, you gotta, not that it's expensive, but it's nice. You gotta definitely support my brother. So appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, that's $5 a month. That's big money.
It's a cup of coffee.
How have you been?
Wonderful. It's been my life hasn't changed. If anything, it's been more blessed than anything. It's been really wonderful. It's God's wonderful, and I got to tell you, He's been looking after me, my family, and everything's been wonderful. It's really been a nice experience for what's been going on in the world. It's crazy what's happening, but on the other end of it, if you understand that all of this is a deception to. What is Lucifer's agenda? What is Satan's agenda? Cheat, kill, destroy. Okay, so create fear and havoc. Okay, so if you're not watching the news, you really shouldn't be fearing much of anything. So, yes, there's a lot of craziness in the world, but it's your choice to let it in or not. So I don't let it in. I rarely watch any news right now. At best, I'll watch a little Fox at the end of the day sometimes. There's a couple of guys on that are fun to watch. But it's even hard to watch Fox sometimes because even they're still politically leaning left now, even more so than they were. So it's little it's crazy out there. So just don't pay attention because Satan's channel is the media. That's how he tries to scare you. And so don't be scared. There really is nothing to be scared about. But you got to be aware of what's going on in the world. Don't be blind to what's going on. But fear is not shouldn't be in your cards.
And I could not have said it better. I think you're only afraid if you have lack of knowledge, and fear only exists if you don't know God.
Right. That's exactly it. So I was chatting with our friends at Wild West the other day, right? And it's just I was making a comment. You go outside and what's happening? You see people driving in their cars with masks on. Okay, you see people here in California. It's 90, 95. It's really beautiful. The weather is great, and people are jogging with masks on. How do you breathe? But that's fear and fear and lack of knowledge, and they're doing that because they've been brainwashed to do this. And you have to understand, viruses. I went to medical school. The point is, you don't even need to know this, but viruses are destroyed by UV light and heat. Okay, so to think that when you're out there jogging or walking your dog or with your family outside, you got to wear a mask. Where are you going to get the virus from exactly?
See, my wife has pointed this out. Now, mind you, she She is not a healthcare expert, but she works in healthcare, like products, like stuff like that. And she points out all the time, she's like, why are you wearing a mask in a car by yourself?
Yeah. But why do they do that, Ben? Because fear and a lack of faith.
Yeah.
More so a lack of faith. Because if you believed in Christ, you shouldn't be fearful. So therefore, you wouldn't be doing that. But by a lack of knowledge and lack of faith, you're fearful, so you're scared of death.
Yeah. Yeah. And my philosophy is the day I die is the day I die.
And it's the day you're raised up. You understand, the day you die is the day God raises you. So why are you, where's the fear? Look at the 12 apostles. Do you think they were fearful of death? Are you kidding me?
No, it's if you know God and you live your life accordingly, when you die, you're going to heaven to meet the Father. And
you're going home. You're going home. It's the spirits that are on this earth that die, and they do all the reincarnation stuff and everything. That is the Luciferian. That's the evil spirits recirculating themselves. But if you're in Christ, you die and you go home.
Yeah, you're home eating popcorn and watching this shit show on a big screen TV.
Yeah, and when you go home, you experience the most love you've ever experienced in your life. You've never even experienced that kind of love, So that's where you're headed. So to be fearful, this is, I honestly, the main thing I would like to have people understand is don't be fearful, because then you're basically eating up the agenda of the other side of Satan. So don't be fearful, because the book, everything basically points to we win.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we know how this plays out. Exactly. We know who wins. And so we have no fear of the road to winning.
Right, exactly. There's an agenda for everything, but the story, as I've, if people at my website, I've done several interviews with Greg Hunter. I've laid out Daniel's timeline, taken it further to what even Daniel, didn't do, and basically, but the whole point of Daniel's timeline, the whole point of Revelation is basically the story, God's story, was written from the beginning, with the end in mind. So the story was written all the way back from the beginning to the end. It's a 7,000-year story. And we have just over 1,000 more years to go.
Yep. Well, let's jump in here. And we were actually having a little conversation prior to going live. And we have some big moves that are coming, up or down. I don't know yet. We'll see. But it's an exciting time. If you're a trader, listen up. We have a special gift for you traders watching today. If you're a hodler, you're going to want to get this gift also, but it's just going to give you the knowledge of what Bo thinks is coming, and that's going to help you in your future acquiring into your hodl bags. So it's information that everybody can use. Lay it out there, Bo. What are we looking at?
Could you? I'm not sure if you have the chart that I put it together a chart for you. Is it on the screen right now, or can you put it on the screen?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's on the
feed.
Yep.
Okay, so people can see it.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so if you look at the cycle chart, this is so for people to think. There's people, analysts think that Bitcoin moves randomly because it's new. It's a new, and so the patterns of it are not set. People can click buttons and it can go up or down, and there's no controls of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just random. Okay, You're about to see that Bitcoin is not random. Well, you should already know that it's not random based on our prior interviews that we've had, Ben. Okay, but this cycle chart, this is a private chart that I follow, and there's numerous other charts that I've created. This is one I wanted to share with you, or a piece of one. There's more details in my report, but this chart is beyond mathematically possible unless it's a real cycle. Okay, so the chart itself, if you look at the chart patterns, what Bitcoin follows, it's a cycle. It's a 192 day to 172 day mixing time cycles. So from the exact top in December of 2017, that's labeled as a green cycle. You can see the greenness to it, to the shade. It's a 192 day cycle. That took us to exactly this. Again, we start on the left side of the page. Okay, so left side of the page. So from the exact top, we take a 192 day cycle. That takes us to June 26, 27 of 2018, to the exact day. Not week, not month, day. So that was the first cycle. So it's an alternating 192, 172 day cycle. The next cycle is a 172 day cycle. So from that time point, we take 172 days. That takes us to the exact bottom. And this was actually, if you go back into my prior videos, this was one of my dead-on forecasts to the exact day because of this cycle. So that nailed Bitcoin's bottom at $3,122 on December 15th of 2018. So that was a second cycle. So that was a blue cycle. So you got a green, blue. Next would be another green cycle. The green cycle, again, is a 192 day cycle. That takes us to, again, same date, June 26, 27 of 2019. Guess what happened? Bitcoin topped out at 13,888. Okay. So again, exactly to the day. So this is beyond mathematically possible for this to be happening randomly.
Yeah, that's crazy. You've actually shown me this a couple of times,
right? So my point. So this takes us to the next cycle, Ben, because this was our interview. We scheduled this in advance. The interview because we met in Vegas, and then in November, and then we set up an interview for December 18th of 2019. So if there's a red bubble there, it's December 17th, 2019, Bitcoin bottom at $6,550. That was the exact bottom for 2019.
Wait. So the day we did our video was the exact bottom?
The next morning of. And then when we spoke, I said that was the bottom.
Now, hang on a second. Doesn't that seem kind of interesting? That the day that you and I united was a day that things turned around for the world.
That's pretty true. That's a good way of looking at it. That's true. So, that takes us to the next cycle. But the point is, okay, so we scheduled an interview because of this cycle in advance. And that ended up being the exact 2019 bottom, to the day. So we interviewed the next morning. So now, since then, Bitcoin went up, it dropped down, it made a low, like in the, briefly, it dropped down to the low, just under 4,000 range, maybe the high 4,000 range in March on the market as the stock markets crashed. And then we come back up, And again, we schedule an interview. Why? Why are we doing the interview today, Ben? Because the 192 cycle, the green cycle, completes June 27th of 2020. So now the question is, what's going to happen between today, the 19th of June, and the 27th? Okay, so there's two possibilities, because the history tells us that that is a turning point. Now, when I say the 27th, again, it could always be 24, 48 hours, but usually it's within 24 hours. The point is, the 27th is a Saturday, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, the 27th is a Saturday, and so the next trading day would be the 29th, and the prior trading day is the 26th. So just know that that time point between the 26th and the 29th is a very key point for Bitcoin. So will Bitcoin spike up into it from where it is here? Maybe. Or will it plunge down? Okay. But the cycle already knows. So the cycle that I've got within our first subscribers, we know it's I've already positioned myself for this move, and my subscribers as well too. So we're set for it. But the point is, that point in time will be a pivotal time for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies in general, okay, as a whole. So that's going to be a pivotal time point to either, to add more if it drops, or get out because it tops. But the cycle already has it foretold, and it'll be fun for everybody here to watch what happens into that time point. My subscribers, myself, we're all positioned for what's about to happen. But my point is that will mark and delineate a very important time point for the cryptocurrency space as a whole at that point. So it'll be interesting to watch this play out. But I do want you to know that is a very important time point. If it's a high, then Bitcoin is going to have a very bad summer, and several months forward probably are going to be bad for Bitcoin. If it's low, Bitcoin could bottom and then start going up again. So it depends on which way this time point points to. But the cycle already is foretold. But the point is, mathematically, these cycles, they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
They really are. Because the probability of this stuff happening randomly is impossible. So the point is that these cycles are predictable for Bitcoin, and the cryptocurrency space as a whole tends to follow Bitcoin. Okay, and some of the alternate coins since the March low have, there's ZIL, DigiByte. Some of these coins have done 400+% moves from actually beginning of early of April, when we really went long on it. So these alternate coins are pretty fun because they outpace Bitcoin sizably in a bull market.
Yeah, I see. This is why I have.
And Divi, and your Divi coin. Sorry to interrupt, but your Divi coin. I don't have any, but I'm telling you, that Divi coin, man, that thing's been on fire.
Oh yeah, and it's only the beginning for Divi. I have an interview coming up with the CEO or the CTO. There's a lot of partnerships that are coming up with Divi, and a lot of I'll let them announce. It's just it really is their wallet structure. Their wallet structure makes it so easy to implement into a website, where it turns the website when they roll out 2.0, it actually turns the website with an easy plugin into a cryptocurrency exchange. So every website out there will be able to host a crypto exchange in their website. Your website will be able to host a cryptocurrency exchange live in their wallet on your site. It's revolutionary. I mean, you can have
and again, and why is all this happening? Because if you look at the cycles, the bottom line is the cycles all point to this year into next year. You know, the big term the long-term Bitcoin cycle, okay, is bullish.
Yeah.
Period. It's bullish from this bottom. So from the December 15th, 2018 low at $3,122, that's the bottom. Okay. So we might have some violent swings here and there, but the bottom line is Bitcoin as a trend is up for years. Okay. And so the cycle itself is going to continue. It's, you know, that's what cycles are. They go up and down, but Bitcoin in and of itself is in a bull market, and it's going to accelerate like you've never seen before come 2021.
All right.
So this year's good, next year's better, and then turns into incredible.
Hey, I'm all for it.
So that's a longer term cycles for Bitcoin. Then it's going to basically drop again and then go back up. So it has a lot of swings, but regardless, this year Bitcoin will finish stronger than it started, sizably, in the cryptocurrency space as a whole. And then next year is going to be even more epic. And I say epic, it's supposed to be really fantastic next year. An immense bull market move is coming next year. So this year is going to be very, impressive, but a lot of swings, high, up, down, up. So it's not a solid bull market this year just yet. It's a bull trend, but a bull market means that it's aggressive and it's jumping and that we're not going to see until 2021.
Yeah, I don't know how to trade. I'm sure if I put my mind to it, I could figure it out, but that's not what I want to occupy my aggregational time with. I'm a creator.
Right, and that is correct, because really as a whole picture, you don't really want to be trading. If you want to be trading, you want to know what you're doing, number one, and number two is you still should have a core position long term. You should just be positioned and sitting on it, and that's hodling. You should be sitting on a core position of whatever you've got, whatever you like, and just be sitting on that long term. Then you take a piece of the pie and you play with that. And that's how I look at it. So I play with a piece of the pie and then trying to always increase that. So, if you can trade, so you can swing some highs and lows, you can always keep building the core. You keep building your base, but you should always hold the base, always. Because what are we in? We're in a long-term bull market for Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space. So that's the way to trade it. But if you want to, as a trader, I don't trade that much, but I'm more involved in trends. And when I see a trend shift for a few weeks, then I'll maybe act. Because then if I see that, then I can add to my position on a pullback and maybe increase my position by 30% or something like that. So, but longer term, absolutely. The safest and the best thing to always do is like what you're doing, Ben. You don't have to worry about it. You're not leveraged. You just got a position. You go to bed. You sleep comfortably every night, and you know that whatever happens, you're on the correct side of the trade, and you're not going to get knocked out because you're not playing leverage. You're not doing anything stupid, or you're just simply holding good coins that you believe in, and if that's what you believe in, those are your good coins. You got them. Long term, I'm telling you right now, the cycle long term is bullish upwards. So you just sit on it and enjoy the ride. And just know that next year you're going to be going, oh my God.
Yeah, there's a great question and thank you, Road to Ruta, for sending the question. He basically wants to know, do you include manipulation when you create your charts, or is it just part of the human.
Right. So, I'll answer. So the answer to that is manipulation is the chart.
Okay.
So, look at the chart that I've got right in front of you there. Okay. So that you got the it's called the Bitcoin's fascinating 192, 172 day cycle. Okay. You got to look at that and you got to ask yourself, the whole time that was playing out, it was manipulated.
Yeah. Okay.
So the manipulation is people's actions doing something. And so people, biblically, that which has been will be again. There is nothing new under the sun. In other words, people as a whole, we just do the same thing over and over again. So that's why I've coined the term, life is nothing but cycles that repeat themselves at different price points. So I don't use so my daily cycles that I don't use Bitcoin's cycle to tell subscribers what Bitcoin is going to do. I use other commodities that Bitcoin's mimicking.
Gotcha.
So Bitcoin is mimicking other commodities of history. And so that's why you can predict what Bitcoin is going to do, because the cycle of Bitcoin is, and this is just one example of Bitcoin's, this is a timing cycle that how you can calculate timing for Bitcoin. And so to answer Bix's question, you're going to find out that time point between the, say around the 27th to the 29th, right in that time point will be a pivotal time for Bitcoin. It will be a calculated move. So the calculation points to something, either a plunge or a spike into that time point, and then I use my daily cycles of history of other commodities to give me the answer.
I see. Oh, as I've heard, I think you actually say this before, that a chart is just a graphic representation of the mood or the agenda of the market.
Of people's reaction to the market.
Yeah.
So, and that's what, again, to be 100%, absolutely impossible. Okay. But you can go to my webpage and click the Bitcoin index on the webpage. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just over the past couple of years, every so often I'll sit down on the computer and I'll go pull my videos up and I'll kind of mark off a few links. So there's I think 17 links on there. In the past 2 years of these, there's 17 links, and there's way more that I could sit there and make. I've got 17 on there. Okay, I don't know how many more people need, but there's 17 links on there. You click those actual links. It says click link to verify. So there's a statement, and it says click link to verify. You click the link, and I basically on each one of it takes you right to the exact point in the video or a chart. But usually they're video points, and basically the video says this is going to happen, and then it exactly happens.
Yeah.
So to think that you can't predict Bitcoin's price movement or a cryptocurrency's price movement, mainly Bitcoin because it's the biggest one, it's not. Someone who says you cannot predict what Bitcoin is going to do, that's not a true statement. You can predict what Bitcoin is going to do. Can I predict what it's going to do 100% of the time? No, absolutely not. That's because sometimes it makes funny swings, and because history repeats, but not identically sometimes. So it could skew a little bit, but the longer term patterns hold. So that's why you can look at the time point, like 192, 172 days. Those are key time points, and they will hold. But the movement in between can skew sometimes. So Bo got it wrong. Well, yeah, because it wasn't a critical key time point, if that makes sense. But the June 27th, 29th time point is. So something supposed to be, it's supposed to be an interesting move, the time point between today and the 27th the 27th is a Saturday. So you got to take the 29th, the next trading day, that the 29th would be the actual and important time point for the world. So for Bitcoin itself. So I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. Just like I didn't know that on the 21st of April, oil was going to go to zero. All I said was in February, the 21st of April is going to be an incredibly epic point of time for the world. I don't know what's going to happen, but I tell you, something big is going to happen on that date. What happened? Oil went to zero, then negative 37 on that date. How did I know? I didn't. I had no idea. All I knew that something big was going to happen, and for the first time in history, oil went to zero.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know the event. And all I knew was that was going to be a pivotal time for the world. And oil going to zero, that's kind of critical because oil is attached to the dollar, the petrodollar. So that's basically, in a bigger picture sense, delineated the death of the dollar.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't mean the dollar died that day. No, but it was a point of time that you could reference saying that was the day the dollar technically died. And now we're going to see it die.
Yeah.
Going into the future. Now, if the dollar dies going into the future, what happens? Bitcoin is going to fulfill its cycle going upwards. Or gold and silver are going to fulfill its cycle going upwards. Silver is going to explode when the dollar dies. Okay. Now, when the silver explodes, I don't know that date is because only God knows the day or the hour silver explodes. Because as Bix has said too, in the past, silver is the most manipulated metal in the world. Why? Because they hate it the most, because it has the most benefit that it can offer the world. It's so they hate it the most. If they hate silver, something they that manipulate hate silver so much and take it to a factor of 130 to 1, you got to think about why they hate it that much. If they hate it that much to gold, therefore they must really dislike something about it. All the more reason to own silver. You see what I'm saying? And so the cycles themselves are they're time points written into the future. Our future is written from the beginning, 6,000 years ago. And so I've just been able to tap into some of the cycles and how it works. Another time point was Pentecost. This was a time calculated. Go to my slideshows of the past couple of months. Click the PDFs, and you'll see. I've had delineated May 31st as a huge time point for the world. I had no idea what's going to happen on the weekend of May 31st, but that was Pentecost, when this Holy Spirit powered up the earth again. And guess what happened? Evil went gangbusters crazy when Antifa just started destroying North America and a lot of the world, okay? That was the exact time point. And the world changed on that weekend. So I don't know what happens. I'm just telling you, these are wild time points that are biblical. Some of these longer term time points are biblical time points, and those were a couple of the key dates. And then so Bitcoin itself's got a cycle, that points to another key time point coming in here. Now, my shorter term cycles on other commodities say that next week supposed to be, I don't know, something's supposed to go down next week. So something changes next week, possibly. And somewhere, we're going to see some pretty epic moves occur next week. So next week into the end of June is supposed to be extremely volatile.
Yes, I've heard this from two guys now, that there's going to be two groups, one working to push Bitcoin up and one working to push it down.
You know the answer.
Oh, well,
we'll find out next week.
Yeah. It's our guys and gals. See, this is why I bring on easy for me to say Bo, is if you listen to what he's telling you, he isn't saying, I know the exact date of Bitcoin or price of Bitcoin on any random date. But what he does is he knows timelines
and direction.
Right. Direction of the timelines, and which these are larger time. If you swing trade, follow Bo, because I think your swing trade record is literally spot on.
It's not spot on, but I don't think anybody holds. If you look at those links that I've showed as examples, show me one person in the world that has more. Good luck.
That's why I bring you on. And guys and gals, there's a link under this episode. There's a link for Bo's channel. And if you use my promo code, Ben49, you explain exactly what.
So the answer is very simple. If those that are traders, again, this is for traders, okay? So if you want to make profit, that's, it costs, you spend a lot of money. If you're not interested in profiting, simply just holding, you don't need this, okay? But again, if you want to swing trade occasionally, have some major trends, then it's 2 weeks, it's a 14-day trial, it's $99. Ben49 is the code, makes it $49. So you can have 2 weeks at a discount, 50% off, and you can get the answer to what we talked about. You can also, get some important time points for some of the coins. We also have 8 other coins on there, or actually 9 other coins that I really like, and I show you entry points and exit points on some of the coins. So it's just more information for those who are interested, in the trading side or more interested in the cycles of Bitcoin. But aside from that, Bitcoin, in the cryptocurrency space, everything you're doing, Ben, it's just Bitcoin, gold, silver, especially silver, alternate coins. They're in a bull trend, which gets explosive in 2021. So mark my words on that, but that's the cycle, okay? The cycle is a bull trend in 2020, but volatile. So up and they hammer it, up and they hammer it. So you're going to see, but higher lows and higher highs too. But you're going to see like a bull trend developing in this year, and then next year is going to be a bull breakout, and then we're going to see price explosions. Is what the cycle longer term is pointing to. So, just so if you're hodling and holding, you're in a great situation because you're on this correct side of the trade. What Bitcoin is going to be going, and if you're hodling, that Bitcoin long term is a win, and especially in some of the alternate coins, win, because they multiply the move of Bitcoin just because Bitcoin's price is more pricey. So for Bitcoin to double in price, when that event happens, some of the alternate coins will go 4, 5, 10-fold relative to Bitcoin just because of their lower priced entry points.
Yeah, and eventually I want you to look at the Divi coin and just kind of maybe add that one in there once in a while. Well, thank you both so much.
Actually, before we go, I want to give you and your viewers some prophetic words that are not mine, but that of Lois Vogel Sharp given this week. And I think these are really key words. I took out 7 lines. Actually, my gardener is here. If there's a little back noise, sorry about that. But so seven lines that I want to give you and your viewers. Number 1, we have not seen anything yet. Number 2 is brace yourselves. This is not over yet. Freedom is under attack, and freedom will slowly begin to fade away. Number 4, make sure you are ready for the final lapse in this race. Number 5, another economic collapse is coming. Brace yourself. Number 6, this year will be in the history books. And lastly, Trump will save America that was founded under God. So those are the 7 prophetic words from God for you and your viewers and listeners.
Well, thank you very much, my friend. Some of those scare the hell out of me, and some of those make me smile. But I like we talked about earlier, I don't really have any fear of any of this. Whether I'm afraid or whether I'm strong, it's going to happen. And I get my strength from God, so I don't worry about much.
I fully agree with you, Ben. That's exactly the point. There's nothing to fear, but brace yourself because more is coming. what we've seen so far is only part one of the crash. Okay, there's more coming. By the end of this year, a lot of epic things will have occurred. So this is only the start of the events of March, and it's going to get more and more crazy out there. So just stay focused on God. Look to a wonderful future prepared.
Yes.
And 3 things to be prepared: faith in Christ, number 1, food and water in your house, and then financially, cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. Cryptocurrencies and silver would be my top 3. So that's how I would prepare.
Absolutely. And this is how I would explain it in my crazy Bitcoin bin way is we're getting, just because you're on a roller coaster and you know you're safe, it doesn't mean you don't hold on. Because I think we're clicking up the roller coaster and we're getting ready to come over the side, and it's going to be a hell of a ride. So
right, that actually nicely describes 2020, Ben. That actually describes 2020 is even in the crypto markets and in the stock market, that you're going to see a lot of that. So you're going to see just like what you described, man. That was actually really good. That was a really great analogy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, everybody, Bo, thank you. Thank you once again for joining us. I know that my viewers love when you come on. It's like that energy that all right, we need a shot of Bo. We need a little hope. We need a little guidance. We need a little hope.
Well, love.
Love.
Little godly love. That's what we need. That's what grounds us all the time.
Exactly. And you always bring it. So everybody, check out his link. And under the link is another link to the chart that we just had up here. So click the link, click on both of them. If you want more information from Bo, check out Gold 2020 forecast. Everybody, have a great day. Love you guys, and thank you to everyone in the live chat. I thank you guys so much. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for what you do, Ben. Thank you. God bless.
You too, my friend. God bless you.